We've talked a lot about Karen and her potential jealousy of, losing Zach's baby, and then from there seeing Fatima going through the pregnancy of her and Zach's child, and the fact that she no longer has any sort of leverage or tether or connection to Zach's life from this point forward. But I don't think we've spent a lot of time, if much time, talking about Fatima. Now, last week's episode, and remember, I think I gave Sistas last week like a 7 out of 10 because it was much better than I thought it was going to be, because it seems like this season we're finally going to take the time for multiple characters to, well, I know this sounds simple, but hear me out. Feel their feelings, where we actually get to see these characters deal with the weight of the obstacles and situations that they've come across or found themselves having to deal with. From Zach basically listing off the multiple things that he's dealt with in such a short amount of time to Aaron. Karen, just breaking down when Pam and her mom are just trying to help her feel better. And Andy finally dropping the facade and telling Fatima about her own fears and dealing with everything that happened with the Jasmine, Hudson, and Gary situation. And I'm glad, because it was just one of those things where when it comes to Andy specifically, she can't just bottle up her own feelings and categorize it, put it on a shelf or something in order to be there for Karen. And I mean, honestly, the best thing she could do for Karen is to work on this case, to file a lawsuit against the hospital. Because thankfully, as I mentioned in my episode review, Karen should count her lucky stars that she has a support system and just a village of people ready to love on her, despite her going through, well, I feel like it's safe to just call it the worst time of her life right now. And there are just so many women out there who don't have that luxury. Like they're left pregnant and abandoned by the baby or baby's father, no child support, disowned by family or whatever the case may be, no clue what to do in terms of how to feed the child and whatnot. But Karen has an overabundance of people in her life who are ready to help, carry the burden as she's going through this drama, this depression and grief. Now, I talked about it in a couple of videos, hey, will Zach and Karen meet up at some point to discuss how to handle, saying farewell to their child? Somebody in the comments mentioned, hey, Jeremy, sometimes in situations where, let's say, the parents don't go through like a funeral or whatever for their baby, they just allow the hospital to handle everything, basically lay the stillborn or miscarried child to rest, and, they go from there. But I also mentioned how, in a joking manner, that Karen is going through this obvious funk and depression right now. Doesn't want to have anybody around her and whatnot. And I think I put in a tweet. And yesterday I was very active on social media for the first time in a while. A bunch of tweets, Facebook group posts, and Instagram posts. As always, hey, follow me on those platforms. Link are in the description below. And I said, I'm willing to bet that if Karen overheard Zach's voice in the living room because he came over there just to kind of check on her, she would spring up out of that bed faster than Danny clocks out from work. And I feel like that is a fact. So that also brings about another point. I said, I wonder if Zach and Karen will be able to find comfort in each other grieving the loss of their daughter. And, in one video I said, oh, will it go too far? Will they share a kiss or something? Or will they just have a clean split where it's amicable? Hey, obviously we're both hurting, but we just got to move forward. Like you and Aaron have a baby, just double up the love, that you give to Faith, since forever isn't here. And, I got Michael and I got a baby with Fatima on the way. So I'll just double up the love that I would have given forever and, transfer that over to, me and Fatima's baby. And, they just go about their lives in a healthy, mature fashion. But something I've noticed a lot of fans talking about is Fatima and all this. Now, the speculation of, oh, she's going to move out for a few episodes, or there's going to be some sort of falling out between her and Zach, probably due to grief. That's a possibility. But I also want to throw in KJ's hint at some sort of rift in Andy and Fatima's relation or friendship this season due to a low-key betrayal. Now, I looked at the comments on that video, and some people say that it could be I think it's obvious that the sense of betrayal and whatnot, for one, it isn't due to Zach walking in on Andy. That was like a odd comedic scene in the first episode. I don't know why they did that, but I don't think that's it. Obviously, it's Karen focused. Now, I'm just throwing it out there because the comment was really good. It said something to the effect of, do you think Andy will kind of be like the orchestrator or liaison of a Zach and Karen meetup, where Andy is just so sad seeing her friend in this situation and not knowing what to do? And I mean, it might not even be Andy whose idea it is. I mean, perhaps Karen's like, Andy, can you get Zach to come over here? Or hell, maybe, well, I'm just going to throw it out there. Danny is messy, but given how close she is to Fatima and Zach, I don't think it would be her idea. Now, she might be just flying off at the mouth saying that kind of thing, but it certainly seems like Sabrina will be more inclined to mention something like that. In terms of, hey, Andy, I don't like seeing Karen like this. Come on, you got to get Zach. I mean, this was his child too. She's stupid like that. But I just feel like that could be a legitimate reason where Andy either gets Zach to come over or she doesn't tell Fatima about it. This is certainly something that's going to be done behind Fatima's back. But to be fair, I think Fatima at this point is at a semi-reasonable, she's at a level of being reasonable where I don't think she would have an issue with Zach going over there because of the fact that this was their child, him and Karen's. Now, here's where I do think Fatima could get bent out of shape, jealous, whatever you want to label it as. I think Fatima might feel some kind of way if Zach and Karen are together and he opens up, he cries, he basically feels his feelings, as I mentioned earlier in this video, with Karen, but she wasn't able to do the same with him. I get it, but I don't think that's a legitimate reason to be upset. I know that's going to piss off some fans when I say that, but I get it. Because of the fact that Fatima has for days, remember, a few days have passed between episodes 3 and 4. A few days, and what did she tell Andy? All he does is like grunt and say that everything is okay, and when I know it's not, and I wish I could do something to help. So it's just one of those situations where she's going to feel some kind of way, but it's like, Zach, I don't know. It's like you open up to Karen, but you wouldn't open up to me. For days I tried to get to the root of the issues and whatnot and try to be there for you, but you turn me away. But for Karen, you'd open up for Karen? I don't know if it's necessarily opening up for her. It's just that, like it or not, they did share this child together. And I'm not saying they're going to get back together or whatever, but now, if you want to take it a step further, Andy not telling Fatima about this meetup is one thing, but if, let's say, Karen kisses Zach or Zach kisses Karen, and it's like, don't tell nobody nothing, I can see that. But then again, we know how Karen is. If Zach kissed her, Lord have mercy, she will scream it from the rooftops. He kissed me. Yep, he did it. It's like, it's funny you stand there with Fatima and you're talking about starting a new family when you kiss me. What? But if it was Karen kissing Zach, I don't know. She tried to flip it. It's like, look, when my lips touch mine, I can feel it. I know he still loved me. I don't know. It's just like, I'm sorry. I have not. Remember when I used to do imitations? I have not done them in quite some time. I remember Drunk Andy was one of my favorite ones. But for Karen, I don't know. Yeah, I just feel like Fatima might get upset at Andy for hiding this behind her back, whether it's like knowing about the Karen and Zach meetup, being the one to, orchestrate a meetup in the first place, or things go too far where there's some physical touch or contact, and Fatima's left in the dark about it. It's just because you know how Andy is. Well, then again, she is seemingly well, no, it's only been 4 episodes, Jeremy. Let's not get too far. But she is seemingly being written to be competent this season. But we know how easily she's guilted into things by her friends. Because, Karen could tell, like, don't tell Fatima. And I mean, think about it this way. How many times did, Karen speculate about something between Fatima and or Zach, and Andy looks around because this woman does not have a poker face to save her life. She's just looking around and then Karen's like, Andy, is there something I don't know? What? No, I don't know what you're talking about. So I just feel like Fatima being jealous could be a story point for later. I do think that's kind of a dumb reason for her to leave though, if she temporarily moves out of their house because she's upset that Zach would open up for Karen, but not. Hell, he opened up to Aaron. He did. I just think that because of the proximity that Aaron has to the situation, because remember, he and Zach were supposed to be co-baby daddies. So it's like, obviously he understands because him and Zach had their moment, praying in the hospital and being in the, not the ER, but Karen's hospital room together. And I get it. Fatima's hurting because Zach's hurting and she doesn't know how to make him feel better. But to see him reconnect with his ex and alleviate those feelings, I just hope it isn't one of those things where Fatima regresses several seasons ago where she's paranoid about Zach getting back with his ex because they had a moment, which technically did happen at the end of season 2, hence why she got knocked up in the first place. But Zach is just like my ex. It's like, no, let's not go there. But Jeremy, she's pregnant. Fatima's hormones could cause it. I know people automatically use that in defense of Fatima. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you think that Zach and Karen meeting up will allow Zach to open up and Fatima will get upset? Well, hey, you know what? If we want to extend the speculation further, everything I said about Fatima, you could low-key feel about Aaron, because Pam, Miss Lisa, Aaron, their baby Faith, Sabrina, Danny, Andy. That's over half a dozen people. None of them can get through to Karen. But if her and Zach sit down and talk, they have their moment and release those feelings. Aaron could probably feel the same kind of way, inadequate, and from there we go right back to the cycle of him trying to prove he's the better man and yada yada yada. And like we don't need that, but I can see it happening. So with that being said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like and subscribe, and I will catch you all in the next video.